Okay, so it's week 3 of our Sport and Exercise Physiotherapy course. Hi Naomi, how are you today?
I'm good, Rachel. How are you getting on?
Good, thank you. I've been really enjoying this course that you've worked on and created for us. This has been such an interesting course. There is so much information in this course, and I really like how it's covering all aspects of sports physiotherapy just a little bit to allow us to cover the sort of whole topic just a little bit. So you've put loads and loads of interesting information in there. So I find it all very interesting, and I do hope that people aren't getting overwhelmed and that they're managing to filter out all the interesting stuff that they want to learn about and save the rest for later. So, really interesting course. So, I think week 2 has gone very well, and we're looking forward to week 3, which is about screening and injury prevention and injury management. Sorry. So, what's coming up in week 3?
Okay, so week 3, a big part of what we're looking at is going to be screening and the role really that screening plays in sport. It's, the last, 5, 10 years, screening has become a bigger area that people are aware of. It would have been in the past, very much it was just your professional teams that were kind of doing that. Obviously, they had a lot to play in the development of it. But there's a lot of screening tools now that are very easy to implement and use within, your local based sports teams that make your job as a physiotherapist a lot easier. The biggest thing really with screening, there's lots of different elements to it, and depending on the structure and setup you're working within can vary what parts of it you choose to take and use. So a lot of it really does come down to you, the sport, the kind of role you have in it. But, I think pretty much every sports physiotherapist can develop a little small screening tool that they can use, even if they're just working on a team on an ad hoc basis, that allows them to get a little bit more from their role as a physio. It allows you then to build in those injury prevention strategies that we've learned about in week 2 into your program in a way to actually meet the needs of your athletes, based on what it is you're looking at in them, where their possible weaknesses are, and then how you can address that. Then obviously, after the screening is then looking at actual injury management. So, yeah, we can do all we can to prevent injuries, but the reality is injuries are going to happen. Best case scenario, you're going to get them even if you have the team prepared with all the injury prevention strategies you have. The reality of sport is athletes will get injured. So this week we also just get the chance to review a little bit of injury assessment. A lot of it is, there are things you're using already on a day-to-day basis, and it's just a chance to review them, refamiliarize yourself with those that maybe you're not using on a regular basis. Like I know, for example, I work a lot with wheelchair sports, so I would do a lot with shoulders, upper body, and sometimes it gets to a leg, and I'm like, okay, so what is it I need to do here again? So it's that chance just to really refresh that a little bit. Lots of videos there around different assessment and outcome measure type things that you can use as well, just to refresh yourself on that. We'll also look a little bit at pitch side management and start to discuss that a bit too, because obviously that is a key element to being a sports physiotherapist. It's how do you manage those injuries that do happen pitch side. One of the things though you do have to remember with this, it's really just an introduction to that and really getting you thinking about it. And if you're new to working within sport, one of the things you do really need to look at is what other qualifications do you need to go to help you with that. This kind of will get you thinking about that, so gets you on that right path to, okay, what is it I do need? Because we do need those first aid skills and those emergency management skills that, depending on what country you've gone through physio school in, some have those, some don't. So it is a very important area to then, that you look at outside of the course later.
Good, excellent. It's going to be a really interesting week, and I do know that it's full of a lot of information again, so I would advise people to just focus on what's required, really. Don't overwhelm yourself with what's in there. Use it as a resource to refer to later as well. And also make use of the discussion forums. The discussion forums have been great over the last couple of weeks. I've really enjoyed learning we have some very experienced people on the course, and I've really enjoyed learning from them, from their comments as well. So I encourage people to keep that up. It's been really interesting. So anything else, Naomi, before we jump into week 3?
No, I think I'd like to highlight the same with you, is the discussion forum. It really does give a chance for people to give their own real world experience. It's great when we look at the research, the evidence. It's important to have that understanding of that evidence base behind what we're doing. But, a lot of people are really interested in is how people do manage on that day-to-day basis. What are the experiences you're having within your sports? I think particularly for new physiotherapists, it's really great to hear from those people with more experience, because they can really learn a lot from that. And I think as a reflective practice for those more experienced physiotherapists, just getting into that discussion forum and looking back on your experiences is a great chance really to reflect on your skills, maybe how things have changed for you over the length of time you've been working within sport, maybe how things have changed in the last few years over to what was happening at the beginning. So I think the discussion forum gives a chance for people to all give a little bit differently, and to hopefully get something from that as well. And then the final thing we do introduce this week is we've got that little bit of a case study now for this week and next week as well. So just gets you thinking a little bit more practical terms, and the case study we have to introduce you to goes through a little bit of an injury that happens on the pitch, and it's just getting you thinking about, okay, well, what are the mechanisms that we're doing in this scenario, and kind of what is your on-field assessment going to be really going into it.
Excellent. Sounds great. I'm looking forward to all of that. I'm looking forward to the case study and thinking about that myself. And so I look forward to seeing you and everyone else in the forums in week 3.
Yep, it'd be great. Looking forward to chatting with everyone again.